Whether you believe ghosts are real or just made up for the movies, these ghost stories, as told by real people who experience things they simply can't explain, are sure to give you pause, if not proof, that there's more than meets the eye when it comes to supernatural happenings. We've collected a sampling of those terrifying stories right here, along with a handful of other scary ghost stories from a ghost hunter, as well as unexplained incidents told by a variety of ordinary people who claim they've experienced something extraordinary. Whether you believe them or not is, of course, entirely up to you. But if you end up sleeping with the lights on tonight, don't say we didn't warn you. So that being said, as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Number 1. The Grandmas in the Cemetery. Driving past a cemetery was Dayton, Ohio resident Jeff, along with his 3-year-old son Miles in the back car. It was a simple cemetery with simply little inscriptions and flowers. Jeff describes it as basically looking like a giant garden in Monsters Among Us. Jeff claims that his toddler suddenly stopped singing as they were driving by, pointed at the cemetery, and shouted, "Look at all those people." Jeff looked around, but he saw no one. He inquired about Miles' topic of conversation. His son said, "All those people over there. There are a lot of grandmothers." According to Jeff, he asked his kid what the individuals were doing and felt shivers down his spine. Miles stated, "They're all standing there, staring down at the grass." Jeff drove home after the conversation, feeling completely uneasy. Later that day, he claims his little boy went to Jeff while watching TV and remarked, "You know, they weren't alive." Jeff inquired as to Miles' meaning, assuming he was talking about the cartoon. His son answered, "Those people we saw. They were all paused." Jeff remarks, "I don't know if my kid has the sixth sense. Or perhaps he's just a crazy person." Number 2. The Ghost of the Stanley Hotel. The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, was once a prestigious retreat for affluent individuals seeking seclusion. However, by the 1970s, the hotel was in poor condition. Stephen King, who spent the night there, inspired him to create The Shining. The hotel's comeback to prominence is attributed to the best-selling book and popular movie, and now attracts many visitors, despite its historical significance. In April 2016, Henry Yao, a Texas resident, visited the Stanley Hotel after hearing about ghost stories. He arrived, had dinner, and explored the stairwell to take pictures. He accidentally snapped a picture without considering it. Later that evening, Yao became sick, feeling shivers and unsure of something serious. He declined his companion's suggestion to visit the emergency room. The Stanley Hotel is known for its paranormal activity. A man named Yao discovered a strange image of a person standing on steps while driving home. He joked on Instagram that he had caught a ghost in the image, which attracted international media and paranormal investigators. Yao found himself in the spotlight after the image attracted attention. Experts have different opinions on the existence of two ghosts, with some suggesting they were trying to drain energy. Yao, however, has no idea, stating that he has no idea. Number 3. The Ghost Truck Stop. A military man and his best man embark on an 800-mile journey to get married. On a cold January night in 2014, they faced financial difficulties as they approach Indianapolis. The man, who grew up in the trucking industry with his dad, decided to stop at a truck stop. However, due to the weather, the main interstates were closed, forcing them to find a truck stop along the back roads. The couple is about to run out of gas and must find a safe place to refuel their car. They found a blacked-out truck with no distinguishable markings. They hoped to find a clerk or waitress to help them get gas and make it to Indianapolis. They then went to the bank to take out cash and pay back the loan. 2 military members found a diner with a waitress, cook, and a lone truck driver. They sat there for 30 minutes, discussing their plans and getting $20 for gas. The man pumped his gas and returned to the diner, promising to return. When they arrived in Indianapolis, the diner was boarded up and the truck had disappeared. However, a police officer parked in the lot and explained the incident. The cop chuckled and replied, "Oh, you met the ghost of 3. The man explained that he had a conversation with 3 people at the diner, and he got $20 worth of gas. The diner had been boarded up for 25 years. The man was grateful for the help and promised to return. Number 4. The Haunted Ventriloquist Doll. Marty, a childhood fan of ventriloquist Edgar Bergen and his dummy sidekick Charlie McCarthy, recalls her father purchasing a ventriloquist doll for her birthday from a small magic shop in Santa Rosa, California. The cashier gave her father weird vibes and warned him that when she put her hand inside the doll, he would come alive. A father gave his daughter a plastic doll, which she was overjoyed with. However, strange things began to happen, including the doll's expression changing, including its smile. Worried about the doll's safety, her family kept it in a cupboard. One night, they heard a pitter-patter of steps in their living room, thinking it was a dog or family member. They went to investigate, fearing something might happen to the doll. A family was engrossed in a doll that they always kept away due to its love. However, strange occurrences began to occur. Marty's uncle heard her father calling his name from the living room, even though he wasn't home. When he found the doll again, no one else was present. The family was scared of the doll, as people started hearing their names and walking at night. As a result, they decided to get rid of it. Marty's parents, being Mexican and religious, tried to burn a doll to avoid demonic influences. They tried grilling it but failed. After throwing it in the trash, Marty's dad found the doll in the bin. To dispose of it, they dug a hole in the backyard and filled it with cement. Marty and her family have moved away, but they still consider the doll and the possibility that it may find one of them. Number 5. The Imaginary Friend. Jacqueline, from Oklahoma, recalls having an imaginary friend during her childhood with her grandparents, Granny Junie and Pa Hank. They lived in a small home with a quiet backyard, and Jacqueline visited them often. Her grandfather was an interesting character, sharing stories about his life and memories of Prohibition. However, her grandfather passed away in 1981, and Jacqueline was born in 1982, causing her memories to fade over time. Jacqueline, a woman, reveals that she never realized she was receiving stories from a ghost, despite her family knowing about his presence in the house. She also recalls hearing her grandfather, Pa Hank, wake up in the middle of the night. Despite the ghosts, Jacqueline feels that her childhood imaginary friend was her dead grandfather, as it was a relative rather than a stranger. She describes the experiences as feeling like talking to her grandfather, rather than ghosts. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, some of the images captured on this video are very difficult to disprove, so why not take a trip down the spots and find out? Hope you liked the video. For more such videos, please subscribe to the channel.